podcast. This is the Bear With Me podcast. Thanks for listening to the Bear With Me podcast.
3, 2, 1, rolling.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Bear With Me podcast.
Good intro.
Thank you. How's it going today?
It's going good.
Good.
How's your day going, sir?
Yeah.
No. I would have been like, welcome. What's up, pussies? Welcome to episode 5. How's your week?
I love that energy. That's great.
How's your week? Were you guys offended? Were you guys upset?
Or were you guys doing the offending or doing the upsetting?
How was your week, though?
My week was good.
Yeah.
It was busy, but it was really good. How about yourself?
It was a pretty busy week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't sound enthused at all about that.
I'm tired, man.
Yeah, you look tired today.
I'm tired, but I'm in good spirits.
That's good.
You know, some people were talking about, they're like, oh, why haven't you guys released an episode this week? I was like, well, you have to understand, we're both working at the same time.
Yeah.
And I have kids, so we can't really record down here in the basement until the kids go to bed. You also live like 45 minutes away from here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of, you know, trying to line up schedules, line up times, and make sure it all kind of goes well. But it's hard to pump out 2 episodes a week.
It is. But you know what, guys? If you want to donate to the cause, you can help us out, and we'll record as many podcasts as you like. So you can
Yeah,
help
I mean,
us out that way.
if this was our only job, we would be putting out 2-3 episodes a week, if not
Easy.
more.
Easy.
But we're not there yet. And we both have jobs, full-time jobs. I work 2 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty much doing a second job with this, with all the editing and all that you put into it.
Yeah. I wouldn't quite put myself there yet. We're close.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
But it's been an interesting week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot's gone on this week.
Yeah, I heard a few people. People at my work came out to me. They're like, "Yeah, we listened to it." He goes, "You guys have some hot topics." I had one guy come up to me in the change room, and he goes, "Hey, are you the podcast guy?"
No way.
And I was like, well, I do have a podcast." He goes, "Yeah, the Bear With Me one, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Dude, we're listening to it."
Nice.
I was like, "How do you like it?" He goes, "It's really good." I was like, "Well, thank you.
That's awesome. I love that feedback.
We're trying to make the best show we can."
I was talking to these 2 people this week, and they're asking me what I was doing this weekend. I'm like, oh, I'm going to record a podcast with my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what podcast? And I was just not expecting them to ask
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, they're younger women, and I'm not sure what their, political beliefs are, where they stand. I was like, it's a little controversial. But, you know, here it is. You can check it out if you want.
And what they say.
I haven't talked to them since, so we'll see when I go back.
You know, the thing that kind of annoys me a little bit is when you're trying to tell people about a podcast, and it's just, I hate having to tell people about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
It's like, oh, hey, did you listen to the last episode? They're like, well, I'm getting around to it. I'm like, well, fucking hurry up, dude. There's only 4 episodes out.
I know.
And I get that everyone is busy, you know, living their lives and whatnot, but I always want people to hear it so we can get some feedback.
Mm-hmm.
But
we've been getting some feedback on YouTube and Spotify. The comments have been...
See, I haven't read any of the comments
good.
on Spotify.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll give you access to that so you can watch it.
What are they saying? Give me a summary.
All positive.
Yeah.
There's just one guy who comments on all of them. He's saying great episode. I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh.
Keeps you going.
Does he have a name? Should we give him a shout out?
I forget his name.
Shout out to the Spotify commenter.
Yeah, you're awesome, dude. Keep it coming.
Thank you for always commenting on the video.
You keep commenting, we'll keep producing it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good feedback. We've had some negative comments, but I love that shit. So
I saw a couple on the YouTube thing.
Yeah.
And I know I always hear people say, don't read the comments, but I think they're hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have that many yet.
A couple said, Maple MAGA.
Maple MAGA.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which I don't understand that.
No. Alberta. Make Alberta great again.
Yeah. Oh, that spells MAGA too?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, maybe that's what they were referring to.
Maybe.
But, hey, Maple MAGA. That just sounds... It's like, come up with a better...
Yeah.
If you're trying to, cuss us or burn us, be a little more original than Maple MAGA.
Well, they could be on our team. They could be Canadian as well, and they're saying, okay, let's make it great again.
Yeah, well...
Let's start our own movement. How about that? Why don't we stop ripping people's stuff off and make our own stuff?
We need our own slagging.
It's been a
we
week.
own our. We need our own slogan,
We do.
not a swaggin.
We do.
But I read one of the comments, and it was this one guy, and he said, "No one cares about your opinions. Wrap it up." And I was like, "Well, you're the one listening to it."
Yeah,
And then I
apparently
checked
you
out
do.
his page, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" It's just this big fat guy who records himself playing video games, like little snippets
Of course,
of
it
like
is.
Call of Duty.
Does he have pink hair?
No,
Oh,
he was a black guy.
okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I comment, try and roast us.
Yeah, you know what? Every engagement helps. So all the negative people, the more they share it, the better. So
Any press is
don't
good
really
press,
care.
I guess.
Exactly. It's still a view. It still counts, whether they
Yeah.
like it or not. So
I know. I see some views as like some videos have like 288 views, and then like some have 5. And I'm like, well, what the fuck?
I
But
know.
then I'm like, oh, that was the shorts.
Yeah, the Alberta one seems to have quite a bit.
Oh, when we were talking about Alberta separation.
Yeah, the Alberta debate. Yeah, so that's good. It's positive. I bet you it's mostly local people who are listening to that.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot more people are kind of getting drawn into the possibility of Alberta separating.
Well, I think honestly, the more you see of what the federal government's doing and specifically not doing, it just kind of makes sense. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like if they're not going to do their job and we're funding it, it's like, well, you got to stop enabling it at some point.
Yeah.
We have to stand up for ourselves, or nobody else is going to. Nobody's being vocal for us, so we kind of have to do something here.
Whenever I say I'm down for Alberta separating, they're like, well, what are you going to do for like the currency? I was like, well, we could just adopt the U.S. currency.
U.S.
And
greenbacks, baby.
they're just like, well, what's stopping the U.S. from invading? I'm like, I don't know.
Why would they invade an oil-producing company or country, technically country,
Yeah.
that's already giving them like 96% of our oil? Why would they do that?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what it'll look like for the first little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd have a lot of people leave,
All the liberals would leave.
but I wonder if we'd have a lot more people come.
100%. There's already a lot of chatter about that.
Yeah.
I was on a call one time with CCFR, the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights. I was on a call one time listening to some people talk, and one guy was like, I applaud it. He was like, why don't all the conservatives in Ontario take their guns and drive out to Alberta and move there? It's like, okay. Then the one lady was like, not for it. She's like, well, what if the RCMP just stood at the border and wait for you guys to go? Like, fair.
It's not illegal to transport your firearms.
It's not.
You just get an ATT for it, and you'd be fine.
Well, if you have restricted, if you have non-restricted, you just let them know when you move. That's it.
Mhm.
But I thought that was funny. So people are thinking about it at least.
It'd be sweet. I think like a good plus, especially for me, because I'm a huge gun advocate, was we could get our guns back.
Well, yeah, we could get them and we could use them again.
Yeah.
Right? And we could
Buy more ones, or more ones, buy new ones.
Yeah.
This whole AR-15 ban, this handgun ban, all that bullshit. It's astonishing to me that like people are still about that.
Well, you're banning it for law-abiding citizens. You're not banning it for criminals. That's the thing I don't understand with these people. And not only that, it's the person using the firearm.
Mhm.
How many firearms are there in Canada? How many firearm owners are there? And how many crimes are committed? Very little.
I saw a very funny meme like literally an hour ago, and this guy was saying, he goes, I own 14 AR-15s and not one of them has committed a crime or murder. He goes, is it because it's not transgender?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's
damn,
good.
that
But
hits hard.
it does make sense because in the last 20 mass shootings, school shootings, mass shootings, whatever you want to call it, every single one of them either identified as non-binary, transgendered,
Or they're on the spectrum, right?
yeah.
Not to down people on the spectrum, but it seems to be a correlation here.
Yeah,
It's the people, not
mental
the guns.
illness.
The gun doesn't get up, walk up, and go commit a crime.
No.
You know what I mean? So they already have stringent laws in Canada specifically that forbid people who have criminal records, mental illness, from even getting a firearm. Like you have to be vetted by the RCMP.
Mhm.
You have to have references. My references were government employees, police officer, and a guy who works for the government for railroad suicides.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I mean, it's like
One of my references was my drug dealer, Jay. Shout out, Jay, for holding it down for me. I'm just kidding.
oh, that's hilarious.
I think my references were my landlord, my boss, who got me my pal, like way back when, or He was the one who taught me the course.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was another family member.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, these guys will give me great references.
Well, yeah, and then themselves probably have been vetted or are getting vetted at the time that you apply.
All of them have guns.
Yeah.
So I was like, it'll work out really well.
Exactly. None of them are criminals.
No. Well.
Well, according to the liberal government, now we are criminals because we possess prohibited firearms, right? If you do.
Yeah. And a lot of these provinces now are saying no to this buyback program.
Even Ontario OPP did.
Yeah,
That's huge.
Ontario, Saskatchewan, definitely Alberta. But I think Danielle Smith was the first one to kind of voice her opinion on it.
Yep.
Like they will not be partaking. The RCMP won't. Alberta sheriffs, local police forces will not be participating in this gun confiscation or this buyback program.
Well,
and originally when
yeah.
they first came out, they said it was a mandatory thing. But
Yeah.
now they've completely like, no, it's not mandatory, it's voluntary.
Yeah.
Okay, well, who's going to voluntarily give up their guns?
You know what I think? I think the Mark Carney caucus is going to come around to your house and take your firearms from you because the police aren't doing it, the premiers aren't doing it. Nobody else is going to stand up and do it because you know what? They have common sense and they realize that the law-abiding people who are just trying to live their life are not going to go out and commit crimes.
No.
And
even if you're going to commit a crime, like who the fuck's going to use a registered firearm?
Who's going to use a hunting rifle? You're going to go get an illegal firearm, a legal pistol that's imported from the United States.
Yeah.
And you're going to use that. That's what they do. It's gangs. It's people who are criminals already that don't have a possession acquisition license.
But my thing is this gun buyback program has been going on for a couple years now.
I think 5.
Is it
Trudeau
5?
started it, did he not?
Ye-
With the handguns.
Yeah, well,
ARs.
it's a handgun freeze, which
Oh,
everyone's
okay.
like, oh, handguns are illegal now. I'm like, no, they're not illegal. You can still shoot them, but you can't buy or sell new ones.
Mhm.
That's all that is.
And you have to shoot them at a registered range.
Yeah, you can only take them to a range, which I think is also stupid as well.
Oh yeah,
because you should be able to carry a handgun on with if you're hunting in the outback. Like me and my dad go hunting, and we go into thick fucking bush. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to carry a sidearm with you.
no kidding.
But
you can, but you have to have a really good reason why and a permit for it.
oh, dude, it's
impossible
you
to
need to
get.
be a trapper to get that license, and even the legalities of it all. It's like when you're driving the truck, it needs to be in a safe or in a case. It needs to trigger locked, and there needs to be a lock on the case as well. Every time you get in and out of the vehicle.
Wow.
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose.
Like you're just gonna take it out, commit a crime, and put it back in? Like that doesn't make any sense.
There's so many gun laws in Canada that don't make sense. Period.
Mm-mm.
Like for the majority of them, like just I don't understand. 5-round magazines. Why?
Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, man, all the guys I worked with at my previous employment, the Shooting Edge, fuck you, JR, you fucking loser. Yeah, I hope that gets clipped, okay? That scumbag, douchebag. A little angry about that with that one,
Yeah.
but he fucked over so many people, including me.
You love that job
But
too. That was a sick job.
It was such a great job. I mean, I made good money. I got to hang out with my best friends, sell guns, take people in, teach them how to shoot. But going back to what I was saying about the 5-round magazines, all the guys I worked with there, how fast they could change their mag and put a new one in, it was like under, a second, 2 seconds, or a second and a half.
You could have a vest with 10 mags in there and just pop, 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 pop.
It doesn't make sense to me. I was like, okay, mag capacity, I don't get it.
No.
You're not doing anything in that.
It's all optics,
Yeah.
right? It's just optics for their base to make them seem like they're doing something when really they're not.
No.
The criminals don't have pin mags.
No, they
Come
fuck.
on.
You know what I really love is like when the RCMP or CPS make a bust and they like show all the guns that they caught. And it's like, I wonder if the person taking the photo of the guns is like, well, that's a fucking pellet gun.
Mhm.
That's an airsoft gun.
Mhm.
There's one video my buddy sent me. He goes, I'm pretty sure. He goes, isn't that like a nail gun? I was like, I don't know what that is. But they always make it out like there's these all these illegal firearms. I'm like, as soon as I saw the pellet gun, I was like, well, that's a pellet gun. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have taken that out of the photo. Someone who works for CPS or RCMP should have looked at that and been like, hey, maybe let's take that out of the
Yeah,
photo.
we look stupid. Yeah.
Like they might as well put it in a fucking slingshot,
That's hilarious.
right? So
Well, it's all optics, man. It's just, I mean, I get it. You know, they should boast about things that they're doing. They should try to deter people with that, you know, with those pictures and whatnot. Like, okay, we're going to bust you. They should do that because crime isn't good.
yeah,
But at the same time, make yourselves look better, you know?
yeah.
Like, you look incompetent at that point.
Or you'll get the guys like gun nuts and people who are very into firearms will just roast it.
Yeah,
It's always a good time.
it's hilarious. The YouTube comments or the Facebook comments are the best.
Yeah. Or like the amount of drugs they get sometimes. I'm just like, that's not a lot.
Yeah. Well, the problem is they're out on bail the next day and they go grab another bag. It's
Yeah.
like,
Hey, we're gonna arrest this guy, take this photo, but we're gonna let him out the very next day.
yeah, it's not the police. I know somebody who works in with the police in Ontario,
Mhm.
and they told me that the police are sick of it. You know, like they spend hours, days, weeks staking out a house to do a drug bust or a gun bust,
Mhm.
and they bust the guy finally. They put their lives at risk to do this, and then the next day, the judge, I talked to them about this, and the judges are even handicapped because it's the policies that are put forth by the government where they have to let them out unless they have to prove basically that they should stay in.
Yeah.
So it's not even the judges. I was surprised. I was like, no way. It's definitely them. Not all of them are doing that. Some of them are sick of it too. The judges even. So it's the policies that they have to abide by that are keeping these or that are letting these people out the
Yeah.
next day.
My thing though is if you're in a role like that, like a judge, someone has to stand up eventually.
100%.
Like we only allow this to happen so much because we're letting it happen. Enough people say no, this is bullshit. Like what we've seen with the recent break-ins and how people are saying, yeah, like we need a stand your ground law. Look at
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
So many things are changing. And I love how Danielle Smith said, we haven't prosecuted anyone for defending their home or property since 2019.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to go after you for that.
Danielle Smith is one of the best leaders that we've had in this country in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? She's a common sense leader, but
She's pretty cute too.
she is. She's good looking. And she does what she says she's going to do. That's what I love about her. She
Mhm.
talks the talk and walks the walk. And you know what? She's standing up to all these people. She's meeting with delegates of the United States. She's just on the ball. If Alberta ever did separate, she should be the leader of the country because she's honest. And honestly, I would say she should be prime minister. But I don't want to lose her in Alberta. You know what I mean? Although I know she would do a good job, but I think she would be fantastic at that role because she would just be an honest leader. And we don't
Mhm.
have any of those.
I mean, I don't trust any politician whatsoever, but so far I like what she's doing.
She's doing a lot of good things to.
She's walking and talking at the same time, which I like because
Yes.
you see a lot of politicians just talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk.
Yep.
You got to be able to walk and talk at the same time.
She's doing both. And
Multitask.
it's not even election season yet. And she's still just hammering away, getting things done, putting things in place. And it's like,
Mhm.
yes, I'm for that.
Yeah, I'm so for it.
Yep.
We need change. We need it now. And we don't need to like these elections, like, oh, well, we'll bring this up in the next election. Fuck that. Let's bring it up now. These are things that are happening here and now. Let's deal with it.
Mhm.
Why do we have to wait to 4 years or 2 years later down the road?
Yeah, because they want to get elected again. You know what I've seen, actually? I don't know much about Gondek in Calgary. I've heard she's terrible. And obviously, if you look at the city, the inner cities are awful. Drugs and homeless people everywhere.
Mhm.
I've seen her because their election's coming up. She said, oh, in 2026, we'll tackle the drug and homeless problem. Why not do it now? You've been in office for how long? I don't know how long they're in there,
I
but
think she's 4 years now.
4 years. And you're just, okay, we'll do it next year after you get elected. Yeah, right, lady. Like, this is
Okay,
the
well,
problem.
coming back to that, I didn't even know there was an election coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's in October.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few people like that. I think his name's Jeremy Farkas. But I don't think they're advertising enough about it.
No,
Because
no.
some guys at my work were talking about, I'm like, oh, we have an election? They're like, yeah, it's for mayor. I was like, I didn't know we were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's totally on me too for not, keeping up to date what's happening in our community. But usually, well, the last election, there was thousands of signs. You couldn't drive down a single road in Calgary without seeing who's being nominated or who's what's that? Not nominated.
Elected?
No, what's it called when you make a run for like an office? Campaigning.
Campaigning, yeah.
I'm smart now. I'm starting
You
to pick
are.
it up.
You're good.
You'd see everyone campaigning.
Yeah.
But once I did see that, I looked at all the people who are campaigning, and everyone is running as a independent.
So you don't know what affiliation they have?
Yeah, and it's like they all kind of have the same spiel. Oh, we want to do this, we want to rebuild that, want to put money. I don't trust any of them.
No, me neither.
Like, I want to vote for you, but
Give me a reason why.
how about talk like a normal person?
Well, I think that's why people don't like politicians like Danielle Smith or even Trump. They say things that are not scripted. They do things out of the norm because they're trying to make a difference. But people are so used to being lied to and told what they want to hear
Mhm.
that they just vote for that person over and over again. And that's why we're in the state we're in this country.
Do you feel like more people are loyal to a party than a person?
I think so. I think they emotionally vote and they don't really look into what they're doing, what they have done. They just okay. Everything in my world seems okay right now. Nothing's changed in my world, so I'm just going to keep voting that same way.
Yeah.
They don't take a look at how other people are doing. I seen last podcast we did. We talked about the food banks, and I said 2 million,
Mhm.
and I was wrong. It was 4 million people are going to food banks now in this country.
Yeah.
That's insane. 10% of the population
Is on
is
food
on
stamps
food
or
assistance. Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, my family was on food assistance or like food bank. Like when my dad lost his company and all that. Like this is when I was just a wee little one, but
Mhm.
it is good for when you need it. But right now they are so over worked, and they're like, yeah, we don't have it.
It's crazy. And then when you see them just throwing money away, throwing money at immigrants or other countries or things that just are not helping the people that are giving them that money,
Mhm.
it's just sickening. It's like how can you vote for that? No matter what side you're on, no matter who's in there. If this was conservatives, I would be appalled and I'd be against them 100%.
Oh yeah. See, I've always I think all politicians are cunts
Mhm.
until you prove it otherwise.
100%.
Because I want to see a politician, a mayor, a premier, a prime minister talk normal. And I know you have to be in the public eye in that, but like I want to hear you have an honest conversation. I'd love to hear a politician swear.
Mhm. I don't want to hear corporate speak. I
Yeah.
want to hear somebody relating to the people that they're actually supposed to be working for.
Well, it's like
know?
when a reporter asks Carney or Trudeau or fill in the blank whatever minister, and they can't give an honest yes or no
Yeah.
or a simple yes or no, or they can't give a legit. It's well, we're working hard for this. I keep on hitting the camera. My bad. Sorry, guys. Just give a real answer.
They dance around it, they obfuscate. It's just like I want a yes or no answer. Like they in the House of Commons, if you ever hear them, they talk about they get asked a question. It's not they give no yes or no answer, and they go on about something completely different.
Yeah.
Or they flip the script and start pointing fingers. It's like, why don't you answer the damn question? They should have to.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why Pierre lost. He had a chance to go on Rogan, and he chose not to. He chose to go on some fucking low budget podcast in somewhere in Ontario, where the guy had hardly any listeners, and he had a chance to go on Rogan and talk about it and legit have a good conversation, a 3-hour conversation about what could have happened in Canada, what's going to change and all that, and he dropped the fucking ball.
I think this is where me and you might differ. Is I have no respect for that guy. I think he's a clown, and I don't think that he's going to do anything good for anybody.
Who, Pierre?
Yeah, I have no hope for that guy at all. Honestly.
Oh,
We
really?
need
I
somebody
definitely
else.
thought you were. I mean, I like
I
Pierre in
voted
a
for
certain
him,
sense. Yeah,
but
well, so did I.
He had it in the bag, and he didn't do all the things that he should have. He should have stood out of the crowd. He should have been like, "I am for everybody. I'm for the people." But he did not do that. He had the opportunity. He had it in the bag, and he somehow blew it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you didn't try hard enough, man, because you thought you had it already.
I know a lot of people brought in the whole Trump thing, and Pierre should have addressed that right from the jump, but he didn't, and I think that's what cost him the election.
Part of it. I just don't think he tried hard enough, honestly. No. If I was in that position, I would have been pulling out 24/7. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Trump wanted Carney to win because you can see how well,
of course,
Trump's just, bending Carney over backwards and giving him a few taps on the butt.
The elbows are down.
and his ass is up.
Yeah.
I saw that on the Berta Proud Dad or Proud Berta Dad.
Oh yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's good.
But I mean, I don't trust any politician. I guess that's my summary.
Yeah, there's too much pandering. There's
Mhm.
too much this and that. It's like, why don't we focus on the people that live in the country? You
Yeah.
know, I don't
Well, there
get
should be
it.
a rule for politicians. You get caught lying, you get caught not following your word, you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Politician is the only job where you can literally lie, cheat, steal, hide money,
Mm-hmm.
you name it, and they can't get fired for it.
And they still get their pension at the end of it,
Mhm.
which is crazy. I feel like what we should do is so for the prime minister, he gets paid. I think they increased the salary like $450,000 per year, and all these people that are in the House of Commons they get like $186,000. We should increase that threshold, and it should be performance-based system where you say you're going to do this, this, and this. Okay, you hit one, that's tier one. You did this. Okay, we've lowered the debt by $200 billion. That's tier one. Okay, now you get a bonus. But if you do nothing, not only does your pension go away, your money goes down.
Yeah.
So it's performance based. That way, you take a lot on being in any of those positions, and I recognize that. But you should also not just get paid for doing nothing. The country keeps going downhill. You keep getting paid more. You get summers off. You just lie all day. It should be a tiered pay system so they can make millions of dollars if they're doing a good job. I would be for that.
In Canada, I'm not completely involved in Canadian politics just because I think it can be frustrating at times because you
Mhm.
look into what's happening and we'll go down rabbit holes. I'm like, well, what the fuck are they doing then? It's like the House of Commons. They get a summer break.
Mm-hmm.
It was like for how many months?
Yep. They just got in office and then they take a 3-month break.
What job do you go to where it's like, hey, congratulations, you're hired, and here's your 3 months off?
Teachers.
Fuck, don't
That's a disaster
don't
too.
come at them teachers right now.
Yeah.
I know some teachers who are bitching. I also found out teachers make decently good fucking money.
Yes, they're paid very high.
Like the average teacher makes over 80 grand a year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they get 2 months off.
And all the holidays,
Holidays.
March break.
I mean, pay teachers well, but produce better students, better kids.
Yes.
Because you look at all these IQ scores and how kids are, can barely talk.
Can't read, can't
but
talk. Well, they're putting them in front of screens now in schools.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, you got to cut teachers some slack too, because when I was in high school, we had cell phone. Like, oh fuck, this is gonna make me sound like I'm so old, but we did have cell phones. Like the first iPhone just came out, but the majority of people that had phones, we had Blackberries.
Mm-hmm.
You had BBM. There was no Instagram. Facebook was around, but like it wasn't on like an app. So that we hadn't really no social media. You did, but you usually did it like on a computer. But that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But now these kids that are in schools, they have their phones with them 24/7. They have no attention span. And it's like the teachers are probably frustrated too. Like, hey, get off your fucking phones.
Yep.
And now I see a lot of schools now saying like they're not allowed cell phones at school.
Good.
Which I'm totally okay with.
Well, not to mention, like I can't say this as a monolithic statement, but you can't discipline them at all because they'll run to mom or they'll run to dad, and then it's like, okay, the teacher's abusing the student. Meanwhile, your kid's a shithead.
Yeah.
So I was a shithead at school. I know what kids are like.
Dude, when I was such a little shit, not so much in high school, but like in junior high or even elementary. I remember one time
So bad.
I punched this girl in the arm. Her name was Michaela Moore. Sorry, Michaela. I should have never done that. Like I punched her in the arm. I forget what happened. She took my coat hook or some stupid shit. I punched her in the arm. Now, the teacher didn't phone home that day, but phoned a couple days later. And I remember being in the hot tub with my dad, and all of a sudden the phone rings, and my mom goes, "Don, here, one sec." Hands the phone to my dad, and I'm just there, enjoying
Not
the hot
thinking
tub.
anything of it.
No, and my dad's, hello? Yep.
Oh,
He did what? Oh, really? Yep. Okay.
That's the worst reaction.
Don't you worry, I'll handle this. He put that phone down. I was peeing in that pool right there.
Oh yeah.
I was, my dad grabbed me and he put me under that water for a good little bit.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me. And tell you what, I never caused shit at school again after that. I mean, I would do dumb shit here and there, but I was always afraid. Like,
fear of the father is good.
Oh
good to have
God,
that.
dude! I remember this is a funny story. I remember one time I was misbehaving, and my mom at the time, my mom in that part, she went to go discipline me, and she's like, "I can either discipline you, or you can wait till your dad gets home, and he can do it."
Oh.
And me acting like a dumbass, I was like, "I'll wait for my dad," and she said, "Okay, shut the door." As soon as she shut the door, click, my brain went off. I was like, "Oh fuck! Wait, no, Mom, come back! You can discipline me! Oh my God, please!" No. I sat up in my room. I saw my dad's truck pull up. Oh my God, did I think the devil was coming for me?
100%.
He just came up, opened the door, and as soon as he opened the door, I just started bawling. Like, "Oh, I'm so sorry!" And he didn't have to do a thing. Like, I think the fear of God was put into me that day.
Yep.
But yeah, teachers aren't allowed to discipline kids anymore.
Nope.
And teachers should never hit a kid or slap them around or anything like that. But teachers got to have a certain level of respect in the classroom.
I 100% agree.
Like, even in high school, I remember I used to get so frustrated with certain kids in my class who would like mouth off to a teacher, and I'm like, you're gonna fuck up the mood for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we had this one teacher. He was this was when I was in grade 10. I was at a private school in Kelowna. He was the nicest teacher ever. So calm, so relaxed, and these other kids would just kind of, mouth him off, be so disrespectful until like one day he just fucking snapped. And he snapped hard, and it was just like you could see it all throughout the like remaining of the school year. He was so different.
Mm-hmm.
And that was back then. Nowadays, kids are way worse.
Oh yeah, they are.
Dude, how many times like a young kid, I'll say something, I'll see a kid in the street. I'm like, "Hey, where's your helmet? Fuck you, you're not my dad." I'm like, "Oh, yep, okay, cool, whatever, my bad."
Well, think about it. Even when you're with your friends or you're with your wife or whatever, and you're talking to them, they're just sitting on their phone the whole time. Can you imagine doing that times 30?
Oh yeah.
Like, what am I even here for? Why am I wasting my time?
Not to mention they're always recording you doing stuff.
Yeah. Like there's nothing that's private anymore.
I was so happy I grew up when I did because we didn't have phones. We didn't record ourselves doing shit. Like as a kid, we did some bad things.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like criminal. Well, actually, a couple things criminal. But I remember this one time. I think I was maybe in grade 9, grade 10, and we were just walking around late at night, just doing dumb shit. And we found a tire on a rim, just a tire. We picked it up and we just rolled it down this hill. And we were like, "Oh, whoa!" And this thing picked up speed, and then it smashed into a car.
No,
dude, it fucked up like 2 vehicles, like bad, and no one had a phone to record it. And the thing is, like nowadays, is like kids are still doing dumb shit, but they're so stupid because they record it and then they post themselves doing it.
Yep.
I'm like, you're literally incriminating yourself. You're tattletaling on yourself right now, you idiot. And that's why everyone's like, "Oh, like, did you ever want to have boys?" I'm like, fuck no. Boys are stupid. Like, I know what I did as a kid, and now with phones, my son would definitely been in shit 24/7.
Yeah, definitely.
"Oh, look what I'm doing, guys. Post a video of me doing this."
I just like this house. I just did whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Did you do any like gnarly shit when you were a kid?
Sure, of course I did.
Okay, let's hear
I
it.
was a shithead.
I just incriminated myself.
Oh, I don't know what I should and shouldn't say. You know,
say it all. This is a Bear With Me podcast, bitch.
Yeah, one time I was in grade 7. We went to a beach in near Midland, Penetang. So we went to the beach. We got a parking ticket. So from the municipality for parking, there was no parking there. So we're like, come on, like we're just trying to enjoy our time at the beach.
What grade was this?
Grade 7.
And you were driving?
No, I wasn't driving.
Oh, okay.
I won't incriminate other people.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so we woke up at 2 a.m. that day, drove out to that beach municipality office.
Yeah.
There was a nice little like horseshoe roundabout right in front of the building.
Yeah.
I came out the sunroof, unloaded 24 eggs on the building. It was awesome.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
Shit, we once tried setting a house on fire 3 times.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. Built ourselves a little Molotov cocktail. It was an abandoned house, like in the middle of nowhere. And what we did is we would drive down, someone would light it, and would huck it. And every time we hucked it, it fell too short. Wouldn't hit the house. Wouldn't hit the house. And like after the 3rd time, we're like, hey guys, maybe we're just not good at this. We're not arsonists.
No,
Let's put this to bed.
that's probably a good idea.
And like the very next day, we'd be like, oh, fuck. Guys, can you imagine if we lit that house on fire?
Oh, yeah. No way.
I've done. I mean, we lit. I'm not gonna say who I did it with, Jordy. But we lit a bridge on fire one time.
No way.
This is when I was like super young.
Yeah.
Like I must have been 14 or 13, 14,
Mm-hmm.
and we made a Molotov cocktail. You know, we were watching we played Grand Theft Auto. So we're like, how hard could this be? So where I lived in East Kelowna, it was like the bottom of like Rutland. There's this bridge, and we used to always hang underneath that bridge. I touched my first boobie underneath that bridge.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it was sick.
Very
It was
nice.
Shout out Katie for letting me touch her boob.
Oh, jeez.
Bare boob, by the
Do
way.
you know her still, by the way?
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
okay.
Never. I think I saw her like maybe
It was a touch and go kind of thing?
18 years ago, something like
Okay.
that. Like I ran into her out of the blue. I was like, oh hey, and then she even was like, hey, you were the guy who touched my boob. I'm like, yes,
Oh, she was a trooper.
yes, I was.
Nice.
Felt a tit. But yeah, I
Bag of
was.
sand or what?
No, no, it was good though.
Nice.
It was super nerve wracking because I was also with a buddy of mine too,
Yeah.
and he got to grab her boob as well.
That's
This
awesome.
is not where this conversation was
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
But
Little
anyways,
sidetrack.
we made this Molotov cocktail, and it was like it was a Smirnoff vodka bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and we filled it to the fucking top with gasoline. And if anyone knows,
Shit.
that's a lot of gasoline for a fire.
That's a lot.
Put a cloth in, lit it.
The whole thing?
Oh yeah,
Holy.
put the cloth in, lit it, threw it, hit the bridge. This thing, oh my god, it went up in flames. Just me and my cousin Jordy looked at each other. We're like, "Fuck, dude, let's get out of here!" And we just booked it down the river. Like we kept running. And eventually, like it was just on concrete, so eventually it smoked out. But we heard a fire truck coming, and we thought we were in trouble. I think we hid down in that like river. Like we walked probably like 2 kilometers, and we stayed out there for probably till like 8, 9 o'clock at night, just so scared. Meanwhile, like nothing came about it.
Yeah. Nothing actually happened.
No.
No.
But the thing was, we didn't have a phone. We couldn't post it
Mm-hmm.
because I guarantee if I had a cell phone then,
You would have recorded it.
Who
of
wouldn't
course.
want to post them?
I wouldn't
Throwing a
post
Molotov
anything
cocktail
like
at a
that.
bridge.
Oh man, I would not do that. I would record it probably, but I wouldn't post it.
Yeah, it's always good to record like dope shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like most kids nowadays are too stupid to realize like, hey, everything that you put out there, even if you think you delete it, it's saved. Somebody saved that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody saved or screen recorded it. Whatever. But I forget what we were talking about. How did we loop into this?
We were just
teachers.
Talking about, oh yeah.
Having to deal with shithead kids. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a teacher because I would get fired within the first day.
They do have a stressful job, but everybody knows that going into it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you're getting paid going into it. You know the time off going into it. So you're really harming the students when you go on strike every year. That's the thing that I don't like. It's like you know what you're signing up for when you go to the job. When you go into the university, everyone knows the conditions of the schools, how kids can be shitheads. So like, don't sign up for it if you don't want to do it because there are lots of people who probably want that job.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, and even in Alberta, I read this news article. I don't remember all the details, but Premier Smith said that Alberta teachers get paid really well.
They do.
I've seen some figure of 104,000. I don't know if that's everybody. I don't know what that exactly was. It's something along the lines of 104,000 per year. And if you compare them, the municipalities or the local schools to other provinces, they're paid very well.
Yeah.
Like they're in the top of the country, almost top of the country. So, I mean, they're doing pretty good here, but every year there's a strike.
And I'm like, look, I don't hate on teachers.
No.
We need them.
We do.
But we need good teachers. We need teachers like that are not going to, throw these fucking weird ideologies down your throat
Mhm.
and like just teach, like we talked about it before, teach the basics,
Well, what is the point of school?
like in general.
Yeah, what is their goal as a school board, or is it like what is that? What's the point of education?
Well, to educate your kids on, the basic stuff like math, science, social studies, English. But I think schooling nowadays is kind of, I think, taking a turn, not for the worst, but I remember in high school, like we had I forget what it was called, like a career course we did. It was like basically like, hey, like
Civics and careers, is that what it is?
was it?
Civics and careers?
No, it was like a presentation we did almost at the end of our school year. It was like, if you didn't do it, you basically didn't pass grade 12. If someone in the comments could tell me what the name of that was, I can't remember it. Older.
Someone will let us know.
Yeah. But basically, at the end of the year, you sat down with two different people. Like, I had a military guy, and I think it was like he was a pilot, and you have to give him like a presentation on your A and B choice of careers. Mine were terrible.
What were they?
A was I wanted to go military, or no, sorry, that was not military. It was a chef, and it was great. Well,
That's
hey,
hilarious.
wow, I made it as a chef. Like I got my red seal, but
As a chef?
yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah,
You never told me that.
no, well, fuck, I didn't do anything with it. Once I found out, like the cooking industry and how bad it is. It was crappy hours. And then option B, do you know what option B was?
What?
What do you think it would be?
Option B.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was so gay. I don't know.
Drama teacher?
No. It was a pro rollerblader, like an inline
What?
skate. Yeah, like grinding rails and all that.
I was thinking more like short shorts, those driving
No.
restaurants where you bring out the food to the people.
No, not that. But I passed really well because
didn't
I
even know
convinced
that was
them
a
I was
thing.
going to be a chef. I think I had like photos of like my dishes I was making. But in high school, I felt like we didn't learn, or maybe it just wasn't me, or maybe it was just me who didn't, learn these things. But like applying for credit cards, mortgage, building your credit, interest rates, like I don't think that was talked about enough in high school.
They don't teach you that. Not
Well, it's
really,
like
anyway.
they try to do the best that they can. Like there's so many things in high school where because they're trying to like tell you, okay, if you want to go further in school, like when you're going to college or university, you need to take these courses now so you can apply for those courses in university. But I think what a lot of people did was they went to school, they got these, degrees or certificates, diplomas, and then they come out of school and they can't get a job with it. Or they
Yeah.
realize, oh, fuck, this is not what I want to do.
Yeah, I hate this.
I just spent the last 3 years and I just realized, fuck, I hate this.
You spent the first 25 years of your life
Mhm.
trying to get to a point where you can have a career and start being successful.
Well, yeah,
25 years.
I know so many people that went to college and then they got their degree and whatever. And I'm like, what are you doing now? They're like, I don't. I'm doing completely opposite.
It sounds good.
And I guess you could say like people always change their minds, and fuck me, dude. How many times I've changed my mind on what I want to do? Even now, I don't have a career path set. I'm really hoping this becomes a career. But in high school, I wish even school now, I wish they would tell kids, okay, hey, what are you really passionate about? Because there's some people like me, I was bad at math. I was like, I don't really have a job where I think I'm going to deal with math. Okay, let's not worry about math. What is this kid really passionate about? What is he good at? What he's not? Let's kind of tailor his education to his passion, what drives him, and all that. And I know when you're in high school, you may not know exactly what you're passionate about because I didn't know 100%. I had a good idea, but I think trying to figure that out earlier on is crucial because especially now in our workforce and our schools, everything's changing so much. Like AI is taking over a lot of jobs, and I know AI is brand new, but maybe teaching kids not like what to think, but how to think
Yeah.
is a good way to start. And I know
That's a
this
good
is
way to
kind of vague and it's like, well, that's kind of a blanket statement, but trying to or not all kids learn the same, and I'm not trying to hate on like going to university and that, like maybe that's for some people, but for me, I definitely I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I think what you're kind of advocating for here is testing the kids as they develop, like from grade, let's say kindergarten to maybe grade 6 or 7. You're kind of getting into puberty where you're changing physiologically. So up until that point, you're kind of testing the students or the kids and seeing where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, and then you're advocating for specialized schooling after that based on what they're good at and also what they like. Because you might be good at something, but you absolutely hate it, or there's no job application for it.
Mhm.
So just basically specialized schooling, and after you've tested and kind of figured out what you like and what you don't like, and then they have paths for that. So you're not spending the first 18 years of your life on stuff that you're never going to use.
Yeah.
You know, then you're creating a better workforce, a happier workforce, and they're applicable when they get out of school.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, and yes, I think if you include the how to think versus what to think, then you're creating people who think for themselves. But I don't know if the government even wants that. I don't
No.
know if the school boards want that.
Yeah.
You know, because then you'd be constantly challenging what they're saying, right? As you start developing in your mind, you're not just taking in the information, you're also asking questions about the information.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be a very awake civilization. I think it'd be a strong one.
Mhm.
And also you teach them how to communicate. Because a lot of people come out of school after 4 years of college and they still don't know how to communicate with people. I think communication is the essential foundation of any human being.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would be
Communication skills is huge.
Yeah, it would be great, and you'd have more cohesion in society if people can communicate effectively. You'd have less issues because people would talk about them instead of blowing up. You know what I mean? Because they
Yeah.
learn how to do that, they develop that skill.
Well, I think that's a big thing with social media now, like dating apps too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people don't want to engage face to face anymore. And because they're not engaging face to face, they say certain things over the internet that they wouldn't say to someone face to face.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I ask some people I work with, like, oh, hey, like, do you talk to girls? No, dude, no.
Yeah.
I play video games, and
Yeah.
I'm like, well, are you on like dating apps or anything like that? I am, but I'd rather just play video games. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, I've met a lot of dudes like that.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm saying it again. It's like, I always give my sister shit for saying that. And now I'm saying it.
It's okay. You're a hypocrite. I get it.
You hypocritical son of a bitch, you.
Yeah.
But I never had a problem like going up to girls or even people in general. Like if you get turned down, it's like, oh, whatever. Not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nowadays kids, men's self-esteem is so low. It's like if a woman says no, it's just like crushes them. I'm like, water off your back, dude.
Well, not only that, like also I'd say the Me Too movement, you don't want to say the wrong thing to somebody and they take it the wrong way. People are very sensitive these days. Not everybody, obviously, but it seems as if a large portion of the population is very sensitive. So as a man, you don't want to come off as that creepy guy. So it makes it even more difficult to approach people, especially if you're not drinking at a bar and she's drinking at a bar and she's loose, you're loose, and you can have a conversation easily at that point. If you're just strolling up to somebody at the gym or at the mall,
that's
it's the worst.
That's a touchy one, like approaching women at the gym.
Yeah,
because it's like if you see someone at the gym, but that's the only place you see them, what do you do?
I guess
Follow
you're supposed
them?
to stalk them. Yeah.
Hey, what's your Instagram? I'll message you there.
Yeah.
I think you can talk to girls at the gym. I mean, I'm married, so I don't have that issue. But there's a way to like talk to a girl at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, when she's not using the squat rack and like mid squat, go up to her and be like, "Hey, are you seeing anyone?
Hey, do you need a spotter? I'll get real close.
Do you need help with that?"
Yeah.
Time and place. Like,
Yeah.
there's definitely a way to talk to girls at
Maybe
the
at
gym.
the water fountain.
Yeah. Strike it. Don't be weird.
Yeah, don't be
like,
weird.
hey, I was watching you last week and I noticed that you were struggling. What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, learn a good icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
But
have some humor.
Yeah.
Be funny.
Funny guys.
Women love humor. Even if they don't take it right the first time. I mean, if you warm up to them and you're not creepy about it, even if you just make a friend,
yeah,
at the very least, then I mean you're doing good and you're gaining confidence at the same time.
Yeah. Shout out.
Okay,
should we get into some headlines here?
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
When let me whip out the old phone here. Alrighty, our first one of the day is yes. Did you hear Jimmy Kimmel's show got canceled off NBC?
Of course, I heard that. Of course.
It was because of his monologue that he said.
Yep.
You
Okay.
want to roll this clip?
Yeah. Let me roll the clip. Let
And
me
I
just
want
get
to
it
I
pulled
want
up
to hear
here.
your take on this because a lot of people think I'm gonna say a certain thing about it, but I think people are gonna be surprised my take on this one.
Okay. Let me listen to what he said. I've only heard bits and pieces, so.
Hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Okay. So people got upset about that. And I think they were trying to say it was he was making fun of Charlie Kirk's death, which I don't think he was. But how he kind of worded that, I think, is what fucked him over hard. Because he said it was the MAGA gang.
Yeah.
It was one of theirs, except it wasn't one of ours.
Well, I've seen a lot of left-wing pundits or commentators saying that it's the right side, it's the right side when the evidence has already come out. They've already had this huge story. The FBI's put it out last week about he's got a transgender boyfriend or whatever,
A trans boyfriend who's a furry.
Yeah, and nobody on the right calls the left fascists.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? We don't talk like that.
No.
So, I mean, it's obvious that he's just trying to point the blame over there and just cause more controversy. Why can't you just call it what it is? I get he's supposed to be a comedian and make jokes, but they've been doing it so much with you're a fascist or whatever. It's gotten old, I think, and people are sick of it. And then finally, the right wing is coming back to do to the left what they've been doing to them for years. So,
can you pass me a nicotine pouch before I break this down for you?
Sure, break it down.
Let me.
However, I don't know. I believe in free speech too. At the same time, so.
Oh yeah. Okay, so. Fuck. Sorry, I just completely butchered that throw.
I thought you played baseball, man.
It's
What happened
softball,
there?
okay? And if anyone knows me on my softball team, they know I can't throw for shit.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at throwing. I can catch really good though.
Baseball's for women, anyways. It's not a real sport.
I'm gonna ignore that comment just for now. We'll loop that back in somehow.
Play a real sport like hockey or something like that.
All right. Well, fucking listen to her over there. Anyways, so from what I've heard with Jimmy Kimmel's whole thing was his producer and the writers of the show, because he's gone kind of hard the last few times when he's been talking about Charlie Kirk, this and that. They told him, they said, maybe don't do that. It's not good. You know, a lot of our advertisers are conservative. You know, these are the people that are paying for your show. Maybe don't say that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, freedom of speech, he has the right to say whatever he wants, but you're also working for, a corporation, a company.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave him a warning that said, hey, don't do this, because if you do, there's going to be some serious backlash over it. What he said, did I think it was super offensive? No. And Charlie Kirk himself would not fucking be, he wouldn't be stoked that Jimmy Kimmel's losing his job because of this. Because rewind it, the last 5 years, how many people who either said, all lives matter, or, I don't see a woman, like, just because a man calls himself a woman doesn't make him a woman. People got fired over that.
Mm-hmm.
People who didn't support George Floyd got fired for that. I think what people are upset about is so many people who were conservative or Republican would state their not state the thing, but would say what they were saying, freedom of speech, and then got fired for it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these comedians, a lot of these actors were totally okay with it and were supportive of it.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did Jimmy Kimmel say, like, oh, Trump should lose his job, this, or this conservative should lose,
Impeaching or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the minute that it happens to them, they're like, "Oh, it's fucking free speech.
It's
You guys are so
totalitarianism.
pro free speech, but you don't fucking like it when someone says anything." No, I think we've been targeted for so long for saying free speech things, but now when it comes to bite you in the ass, you're all, well, la-di fucking da.
Rules for thee, but not for me, right? That's what it is.
And then another thing I heard about this was, so late night TV shows have been losing money and their viewers every year. Like, they brought up the stats with Jimmy Kimmel. He's losing over 500,000 viewers every fucking year since 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing to look at. You're losing your viewers, your production team, your, media team, all that said, probably not do this. You know what I think he did? He was trying to make himself a martyr of it. You know what? I'm going to go there, speak my mind. The show was going to get canceled anyways. Like, I gave it. Well, look at Colbert. His show had the highest ratings out of all the late night shows, and they canceled him. Why? Because they're like, it's costing us more money than you guys are bringing in. Because no one wants to hear this bullshit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that, but like, in the last few years, late night talk shows have gone so fucking political, and it's just like we don't want to hear it. Like, we don't give a fuck about it.
Mm-hmm.
So now that it's happening to them, everyone's all up in arms now. Oh, freedom of speech.
Well, at the end of the day, the corporation that employs him has the right to fire or hire whoever they want.
Yeah.
So if you're already not pulling the ratings, then they tell you not to do something. It's like any job.
Yeah.
If my employer tells me not to do something and I go ahead and do it, they have every right to fire me. I'm not unionized, neither is he. So, you know what I mean?
This is what happens. Do I think he should have lost his job? No. I honestly, what he said, I didn't think was that bad. I mean, you sound like a fucking idiot.
No one's watching anyways.
All the information was out there. Like, we knew he wasn't Republican. We knew he was into tranny shit.
Mm-hmm.
We knew he was a fucking loser. He wrote fascist shit on the bullets. Like, I think it was just like, hey, buddy, read the fucking room.
Yeah.
Like, you're not reading the temperature of the room right now, and you're not doing yourself any favors.
No.
So, of course, they cancel him, and now all his fucking loser, actors and all that are coming to his side. Oh, we support Kimmel. Or what's his name? Colbert, that dumb fuck. You know how since Charlie Kirk died, a lot of people are like, we're Charlie Kirk,
Mm-hmm.
and standing in support of that. Well, Colbert the other night says the same thing. He goes, well, we're Jimmy Kimmel. I'm like,
no way.
Holy fuck, dude. You read the room too.
Yeah.
Like, his show's already canceled. So he's kind of like, I don't give a fuck. And now that they're saying NBC and this company is saying that Jimmy Kimmel has to pay his employees out of his own pocket for it now, which, no offense, yeah, you probably should. Because you just cost, his production team probably has over 200 people.
Probably.
So before you go out there making these, dumbass statements, think about all the other jobs you just cost.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. He's fucking super rich. He
Of
could give a
course.
fuck.
Nope.
And like the Emmys this week.
I didn't
Or
even know this
last
was
week.
happening. No
So
idea.
the Emmys, how many people do you think brought up Charlie Kirk?
None.
Not a single fucking person. You know what they did bring up? Colbert, though.
Of course.
He got a standing ovation. I mean, Colbert used to be funny. And then he got a late night. And he went super liberal and gay. Like, so gay. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, all these people, like, read the room.
Everyone's just sick of the divisive talk and everything's politicized and you can't say anything to anybody but anything. It's like, can we not just go back to being normal?
No.
Decent and normal.
No.
Some normality in our societies, because it's either one way or the other way. We can't have a middle ground. We can't laugh with each other. It's like everyone's at each other's throats, seemingly.
Yeah.
Although, when you go out into society and you deal with people all the time, or you deal with hundreds of people a week, no one talks about that stuff. Everyone acts civil.
Yeah.
It's just when you go turn on your phone or your TV or your computer, it seems like the world's just on fire. But in reality, it's really not.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was telling people who didn't get the vaccine should not be treated at the hospital.
Why? It's a personal choice. Like,
no, that's just what I mean, though.
You know what
You
I
were
mean?
telling other people.
That's
that
a fascistic statement right there.
Well, that's what I mean. I was just like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But he'll be fine. Well, you just kicked that camera, didn't
That was
you?
close.
You don't want to break another thing in here.
No, I don't.
But yeah, like he's gonna come out with a podcast. He's gonna come out with another show. He'll be fucking fine. All these actors who are crying over it and like, oh, in support of Jimmy, you sound like a bunch of faggots. Shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired of Hollywood.
Me too.
Like people were harping on Chris Pratt, who's like the nicest person in the world. Yes, he's more conservative, but he made a statement about Charlie Kirk, and people were saying Disney should cancel his shit
Why?
because they're fucking losers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I bet you if he was like, oh, I support Biden or, George Floyd and, any other liberal fucking bullshit agenda, they'd be like, oh, good for him.
Yeah, isn't it funny how that works? I used to love Robert De Niro. Like I was the man. Meet the Fockers, all those mob movies and
Mhm.
whatnot. And then he came out blasting Trump before the election, and I'm just like, dude, go back to being
If
an
I
actor.
saw Trump, I'd punch him in the mouth.
Yeah, like that's just crazy rrhetoric.
Like, shut the fuck up, Robert De Niro. Just
You're 80, brother.
go back to making your bullshit movies. He hasn't
Yeah.
made a good movie in fucking 10 years.
No.
I mean, The Irishman, people said was really good, but it was like fucking 3.5 hours long.
I stopped watching his stuff.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
That's another thing that annoys me. It's like you like an actor, and then he'll come out like on a point of view or something, and you're just like, fuck,
Yeah.
I can never watch anything you do again.
No,
Like
never.
you just ruined it for me. And it's like, who cares what these actors think anyways? They live so far out of the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have real world problems.
It's when they talk about all the injustices and all the prejudice and all this other stuff. I'm thinking you're sitting in a Hollywood mansion right now,
Oh yeah.
making these statements. Even Oprah, all the oppression she faced. And
Shut
she's
the
like
fuck up, Oprah.
one of the richest self-made billionaires as a woman
Yeah.
in the world. I don't see any oppression there.
No.
It's,
They're just looking for sound bites.
they're looking for sound bites. They're just trying to fire up the people who don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot more of them, the people who have nothing, than there is the people who have.
Fuck, it's like those bitches on The View.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Gosh.
I've heard clips of them, and it's just insanity. I don't
Oh
know.
my god.
They get paid a lot to say that crap. They don't actually believe any of it.
Who's the black girl with the dreads?
Joy Reid?
No, Joy Reid's white.
Oh, I have no idea. I've just heard names.
I think she's the redhead one. Who's the Whoopi Goldberg?
Oh, geez.
Holy fuck! How is that show going? Like
Propped
they should
up.
call that show Four Dumb Cunts. Sorry, Kelly. Sorry, Mike. They hate when I say that word, but the dumbest shit they say on there, and I'm like, how are people watching this?
No
But every now
idea.
and then they will have somebody on who like kind of like confronts them. Like, no, that's not the case.
Didn't they have Ted Cruz on? Or is that another show?
No, I'm sure they did.
Ted Cruz was on tearing them apart.
Yeah. Well,
Canadian, by the way.
there wasn't. Ted Cruz is not Canadian.
Pretty sure he is.
No, you can't be or actually, no, that's not true. I was gonna say you
He
can't
can't be president.
you can't be president.
I'm pretty sure
I
he's
was about to say
Canadian.
you can't be
Born
a
in Canada.
politician if you're not American born, but fucking
Pretty sure.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor of California.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine that was all the politicians. Somebody jacked like that. That'd be awesome.
Fuck yeah.
That'd be hilarious, dude.
I wonder, was he a good? I can't remember like what he did.
I-
I don't live in California, so I can't really
I
comment
don't know.
on it.
He's definitely better than Gavin Newsom. 100%.
that fucking succubus of a person.
Oh yeah, that guy. Did you see that guy in the Sean Ryan show?
Oh my gosh! Did you
All
see
the
the way?
hand signals and the what?
Did you see how he sat in the chair? Like what a faggot!
Yeah, there was nothing there.
Like he sat with. I can't do it here because of the camera, but like cross your legs, like one leg over the other. No, not sideways. Like how a woman would sit.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And he had his like hands in front like this. I'm like,
Barely.
oh.
He was casting spells with all the voodoo he was doing with his hands. It was insane.
I was kind of surprised Sean Ryan had him on the show.
Well, you got to hear
I'm-
all sides, right? Like,
Yeah, I know, but
he
like
got him a Glock or whatever.
no, it was a SIG.
Sig.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sean Ryan's very pro SIG, but
Hell yeah.
my thing is like when you give a voice to certain people like that, you know they're gonna spin it a certain way, and I just felt like, oh, dude,
I think it's great because then you can see the bullshit that the guy's spewing. It's awesome. I think we should have people on there. Switch sides, go left and go right.
oh
Why
yeah,
not?
yeah, I
Why
get
not?
that.
Because it exposes these people, especially on long form podcasts like that. Like you can't keep a fraud for 3 hours.
No, that's why you never saw Kamala Harris do like any big podcast.
No.
Like she was on that what's that Call Her Daddy show.
Oh, okay.
Holy fuck, I think I listened to 5 minutes and I was wanted to stick a gun in my mouth. It was so bad. Like, of all the podcasts you could have gone on, you went on that one.
Well, it's people who would prop her up, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like, you're trying to get the other side. Like, she could have went on Rogan,
Yeah, I know.
but I guess she made her podcast demands like, no, you have to come see me. We can only talk about this. We won't talk about that. When he had Trump on, Trump just like freeballed it.
Yep.
And that's what I mean. Like, politicians have like real conversation. Like, get a politician who can actually talk normally.
It should be mandatory. They have to go on the other side's podcast now. I guess nowadays is what it is.
Yeah.
And talk.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Why not? You see who the person is.
Oh, did you see when JD Vance was on Theo Vaughn's?
I didn't really.
If you
know.
get a chance, watch that. It is, it's so good.
Did cocaine get brought up?
Yes, I was. Oh my god, it was so good. And like JD Vance, I don't think he knew what he was getting into, but he handled it very well.
Yeah. Well, I heard Trump on Theo Vaughn's podcast. And
Oh, I didn't know Trump was on Theo Vaughn's.
He was, and he brought up cocaine. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking to myself, I wonder what Donald's thinking about this right now. Like, this is wild.
I heard Dana White. He was on the Impulsive podcast talking about he had Bill Maher and Kid Rock on over to the White House, and I guess Trump is very like he'll roast you if you don't have a suit, and I guess because Dana White is really good friends with Trump and has been for like 30 years.
Yeah,
and he didn't wear a suit, and Kid Rock walked in and was wearing a suit.
Kid Rock wore a suit.
Yeah, and he's like, I forget, what did he say? He said something. He goes, yeah, I need a drink. And they brought him like a Diet Coke. He goes, no, I need a real drink. He goes, I need a drink for this conversation. And then he looked at Dana White. He goes, oh, I see you wore the Zelensky suit. And
Trump said that?
No, Kid Rock said that to
okay.
Dana White.
That's awesome.
Because Zelensky never wears suits whenever he does these like meetings with the president.
Some military style.
Yeah, he looks like a douchebag.
Yeah.
But from what Dana White said, he goes, if you just hung out with Trump, like for dinner, he goes, you're gonna laugh your ass off. And he really talks really good of him too.
He's a character.
Yeah. I'm sure I like Trump, as people like to call me, a maple MAGA, whatever the fuck that means. But I know there's a lot of shit Trump does and says. I'm like, no, I'm not for that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it how he just says what he's thinking, though, and that's what people don't like. They don't like when somebody who speaks their mind.
Well, excuse me, hold on. Part of that other clip from Jimmy Kimmel was they asked Donald Trump. A reporter asked, like, "Hey, how are you feeling about your friend Charlie Kirk passing?" And he goes, it's very sad, but what you can notice over here is we're rebuilding the ballroom, which no other president's done. We're trying to do it and people are like, see, he doesn't even give a fuck about Charlie Kirk. I'm like, no, he probably does. He's already probably talked about it, but like literally behind the reporters, they're doing all the construction. So I think he just kind of, like, it made him sound bad. Like he didn't care, but.
Yeah, but he made posts. He's talked about it. They probably ask him that 50 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
How many answers do you have to give?
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, let the family mourn, too.
Do you have anything left in that drink? Fuck. I should have brought my water down here.
Oh, no.
I'm getting the pasties again.
You're getting pasties again?
Or I'm getting dry mouth. I shouldn't have put these nicotine pouches in, but I was feeling a little tired.
Yeah, it sometimes wakes you up.
A little bit, yeah. But they do dry out. Do you find that they dry your mouth out quite a bit?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes they do.
Let me know in the comments if it sounds like my voice is off. But moving on. So, another thing we could talk about is Antifa officially labeled as a terrorist organization by the United States and the Netherlands.
Wait.
Can we take a break? Okay. How much well, we can just pick up. I know, we'll just keep going. Yeah. Sweet, because I need to get some fucking water. Yep. Okay, boom. Sorry, guys. We had to take a little pee break, and I had to get some water. So I didn't
now
get
we're back.
The dry mouth situation here.
Okay, so we were talking about the Antifa, right?
Yes, Antifa has now been labeled as a terror organization in the United States, the Netherlands, and one other country. I don't know which one it is, though.
I wish it was Canada.
Wish it was Canada. Let's talk about it. So
Let's talk about
Antifa stands for anti-fascist.
I think that's what it is.
Just anti-fascist?
I think so.
So these are the guys that always show up in black. They have their faces covered, and they show up to pretty much every pro-conservative, you name it.
Every
event.
pro-country protest.
Yeah.
Every pro-citizen of that country protest.
Yeah.
They're basically like negative counter-protesters to everything.
Yeah. And they're never peaceful.
Never.
They always causing shit. And it's about time they...
Meet their maker.
Yeah. Well, we could hope. But...
I'm not advocating death, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was just a joke.
A lawmaker. They met the lawmaker.
Yeah, that's what we meant. The lawmaker.
Yeah.
And saying that, like, how many years ago during the whole George Floyd riots were they burning down businesses, rioting, looting, all that shit?
Mm-hmm.
And they show up to everything.
It's almost like they're paid to go there. Do none of these people have jobs?
No.
They can't.
And it's like, whenever they come to and they're like, why are you protesting today? We're here because we're against these fascists. Okay. That's it? That's
Mhm.
your play?
They're always masked up too. They never show their face.
No.
It's crazy.
Well, they showed up to the Canada First rally.
Yeah, I seen that.
And I saw a guy, I don't know if he was part of the Antifa crowd, but he ripped the Canadian flag out of like the main guys, like the guy who hosted the event, hands, ran off with it, and then snapped in half. I was like, ooh.
Oh, those are fighting actions right there.
You're so tough, my dude.
Yeah.
You stole the flag and you broke it.
Are you not Canadian? Like,
And
can you not rally around
I think
something?
like 2 seconds later, someone else handed him another flag.
Nice.
So it was like, oh, congratulations.
You did absolutely nothing but make yourself look stupid.
But yeah, they always come. They always want to stir up shit. They're always causing mayhem. And I'm happy. Finally. Enough's enough. Canada, get on fucking board with it.
I know.
Like, yes, you have a right to protest, but do it peacefully. Do it respectfully. Don't, block off roads and traffic. Don't scream and yell and like try to cause a fight with people who have opposing views or opinions than you.
Well, why don't you protest at the lawmaker's office who actually is doing whatever you don't like?
Yeah.
Why are you annoying people who have absolutely nothing to do with it by blocking traffic for people who are just trying to commute home, commute to school, commute to work? Why don't you go to where the problem is? Go to the source.
That's too much work.
You know what I mean? They don't want to actually do anything. They just want to cause disturbances.
Yeah.
Like if I had a problem with the police, for example, I would go to the police station and that's where I would protest.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't protest in front of some random people's apartment building who's just trying to live.
Yeah. Well, they don't give a fuck.
They don't care.
Why would they?
No, they don't. They don't give a shit.
They have no intelligence. They're weak-minded, low testosterone, blue hair, fucking losers. And it's like, I'm like,
Yep.
why are they always trying to start fights? Like, you're picking the wrong fucking crowd, dude.
It's always the same people. You can always point them out of the crowd. They all
yeah.
look the same. They all look mentally ill.
Well, the thing is, too, it's like, what's a fascist? You ask any Antifa person, 9 times out of 10, they're going to not know the fucking definition of fascism.
No, not at all. Well, the fascists are from World War II era, 1940s. Hitler was National Socialist, but like Mussolini from Italy, fascism, USSR, Stalin, pretty close. So, is the current government that we have now, or people who are on the other side that they're calling fascists, are they trying to put forth policies that are fascistic? Are they trying to be a totalitarian state? No. Most of the people that they're going against, like Antifa is going against, are people who want freedom for the people.
Well, isn't part of fascism like not letting the other side speak?
That's exactly what it is.
And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't like what you're saying, so I'm not going to let you say it. Well, doesn't that make you a fucking like hypocrite?
I'm going to call you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to point the finger at you, but I'm doing it to you.
Yeah.
And you can't say anything because that's what you are.
Well, and
Meanwhile, that's what
they're
I'm doing.
always like anti-gun in that too, and like, you know,
Meanwhile, they're violent as hell.
well, it's always weird. It's always weird to me, like linking it back to the Charlie Kirk thing. All these people who are anti-gun, and you know, all this seem to be always the ones pulling the fucking trigger.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's a clip note right there.
Yeah, well, they're the ones pulling the trigger. Like, think of all you mentioned earlier with the mass shootings. They're left-leaning people pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
So they're committing the crimes with the firearms, but then they're trying to ban them.
Yeah.
So that way, the law-abiding people who are on the right will turn in their firearms, and they will keep theirs.
Well, it's like you get all
Does
these
that make sense?
Antifa guys together, and they think they're tough. You separate them, they cower immediately.
Well, of course.
It's like, fuck, you're picking a fight with the wrong crowd.
Mm-hmm. Once that crowd starts fighting back, that's where you're going to see.
Well, they're all
things
calling
change.
for like, oh, it's time to rise up, Civil War this, and oh, it's time to fight back. Yeah, you're not the ones with the guns, you fucking dummies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're picking the fight with the wrong people.
Well, most of those people are stage kids.
What's that mean?
Well, like people who were in like drama class in high school.
Oh,
They-
yeah.
They weren't the jocks. They weren't the people who were in athletic or in sports.
The gays?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a monolithic statement. One of my buddies in high school, he was gay. He was a man's man. Guy played b-ball. Guy worked out.
He's a man's man.
Yeah,
He just like cock.
salty. No, I'm just kidding. But and not even like it's not even all the gays that are like that. Like honestly, they're not. They got lumped in with the LGBT people, and now like they just got their rights in 2015 to get married, and everyone was cool with it.
Yeah.
10 years later, it's now some big activist group, and you can see them online talking about it, how they're not a part of this,
No.
but they're getting dragged into it, and now people are turning against them again. It's like,
I feel like the majority of gay people aren't down with the LGBT libidiqua, as I like to call it,
I don't think so.
movement.
No, I don't think so.
It's like you guys are taking what we're doing like to a whole other level.
Yeah, one of my buddies in the area, he's gay, but he's cool. Works his ass off. He's chill. He's not about that stuff. Sure, he has some views that I don't agree with, but solid guy.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's a shame that they're getting lumped into that. But you have to stand out and speak up about it, right?
Yep. Okay. Moving on to our next thing. Charlie Kirk Memorial being vandalized. I think we have a photo of that, do we not?
Let me see here.
No, not that one.
Was
Was it this one?
maybe not. Nope.
I think it was just... Should have just been a photo. Nope, not that one either.
Bear with us 1 second here, guys. No, not that one either.
You know, guys, if you know a producer in the area who could...
We just need a better system here. I don't think I have it here.
No? Do you want me to...
What platform is it on?
I'll pull it up here. Hold on
I
one
don't
sec.
have it.
We can just...
Why don't you just put it in the chat here?
We can just edit this part, like in
Put it in
which
the
chat?
Yeah, you're making more work for me, man. Edit what?
No, like which chat do you want me to send it to?
Oh, just send it to whatever, our personal chat
Okay, give me 1 second here.
or the group chat here. Whatever one works.
I think I sent it to you in your, like on your Instagram account.
Okay, just give me one.
Oh yeah, it's from the typical liberal.
This
Right
one?
there. Boom.
Okay, 1 sec. Yep.
So
Just give me 1 sec, guys.
it's a photo for the people just listening. So somebody painted a mural for Charlie Kirk in memoriam, and it was up there for I think 1 day before it was spray painted with swastikas. I see the Palestine flag there.
Of course.
Just a bunch of people tagging it and covering it. And then one of the comments says, "Am I supposed to raise my children around these people they're filled with nothing but hate.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
really sickening, honestly.
it's sad to see. I even saw one. It was at a university, and a whole bunch of kids got together. They painted this rock, and within, I think, maybe 20 minutes after it was finished, a group showed up with like pink and blue paint. I think it was like the LGBT group, and they started pouring it on it, and the kids tried stopping it. And it's just it's a fucking shame that this is happening. Like even the one in downtown Calgary, in front of the um, city council, or like with the main building down there,
Okay.
City Hall. There were tons of candles, like in glasses, pictures, and then I think it was the next day, the majority of them were smashed.
Why? Like the thing I don't get with these people, even the pro-Palestine or the LGBT, they're supposed to be rights groups,
Mhm.
but they're committing crimes. Like, what? If you want people to follow your cause, why are you pissing everybody off? That's what I don't understand. If you want people to, help you out and whatever rights you think you don't have, which everybody has the same under the law, I don't understand that either.
Mhm.
Why would you go and antagonize the other half of the population? Like, why not join together? If that's what you want equality for everybody, you want everyone to get along or people to help your cause, the more people that would be, the better. So why
Yeah.
not compromise with people? Why not be decent?
Yeah, I think they're trying to get a reaction,
I think so.
and it's not working. Like you see some people fighting back, but for the majority of it, I think everyone's just kind of shaking their head and, moving on with it. They're like, okay,
Yeah. Well, eventually it's going to get to a boiling point where people are sick of it. I'm not saying civil war, but people are just going to start taking matters in their own hands. If
yeah,
they see
well,
people vandalizing stuff, they're just going to do something themselves.
yeah, make it citizen's arrest.
Yeah, exactly.
Just more people are gonna stop tolerating it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you saw those people getting fired at for the videos they made about Charlie Kirk, and that kid in the college who was making the gesture to him like getting shot and falling. College expelled him.
Good. They
Like,
should.
yeah, we don't want you here. Like you're representing the school and you're acting in such a horrendous way. And it's people are starting to realize like, oh shit, my actions do have consequences. Yeah.
Mhm.
And conservatives have been putting up with this for far too long. And like enough is enough. Like, yeah, I don't want violence, but it's like what other route do we go?
Well, if the justice system isn't going to do anything, and societally we're not going to do anything,
Well, it's like it's not a left versus right. This is like evil versus good.
that's exactly what it is.
Like fucking stop it.
yeah. Well, a lot of people on the left, they don't believe in God.
Mhm.
They're secularists, or they don't believe that there's any higher power. So there's nothing to answer to at the end. So they have no moral compass.
Yeah.
Whereas the right, a lot of people are religious, they're Christian, they're Catholic, they're whatever,
Yeah.
right? And they believe in their actions have consequences. Whereas the other people are just freeballing it. Whatever, nothing's gonna happen to me anyways.
I'm living my truth.
I'm living my real self, and I
Yeah.
can do whatever I want because I'm entitled.
Yeah. Well, your real self is a fucking loser. Get
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah. And a lot of them are on prescription medication, mental illness, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it just goes to show that we have an epidemic in our societies of people who are just doing whatever the hell they want. And they've gotten away with it for so long that now it's the find out part, I guess.
Yeah.
Where they're
It's
not.
starting to blow up in their faces.
Yeah. As it should. I mean, we should be living civilly amongst you. We're from the same country, for gosh sakes. It's like,
Yeah.
why can't we get along for the most part, have different views, have conversations? That's fine. But to go to the extremes that these people are going to by wrecking a mural, that's just like absurd.
Like who are your parents? Like
Oh,
who raised
exactly.
you?
Exactly.
Like if my dad found out I did something like that, fuck, he'd be so embarrassed.
Well, back in the day, like not even that long ago, even like my grandparents' age, even my parents' age, they grew up in communities where communities knew everybody.
Yeah.
And if you went up to like another person's house and say, "Who's your parents? What's your last name?"
Yeah.
Because that meant something.
Who's your dad?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everyone just there's no cohesion in communities. People, not everywhere, but people don't know each other, so they just do whatever the heck they want, and there's no shame anymore. It's a shameless society.
There's no accountability with these guys.
No accountability.
And it's just it's sad. Or it's like when I talk about, like I want Alberta to separate. They're like, well, why don't you just leave? If you don't like this country so bad, why don't you just fucking leave? I'm like, well, I want Alberta to leave, but I like where I live. This is my community. That's why I want things to change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to leave, but I definitely don't like the way things are going. And it's like, I'm willing to fight for these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want you people doing this kind of shit. I don't want to see my kids, witnessing this stuff. I'm like, this is not how people behave.
Not at all.
This is not how well-mannered, good people behave. This is how dumb, evil people do this kind of stuff.
It's reckless behavior.
It's
uncivilized. We went from peak Western civilization in the 80s and 90s, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Everything was great. We had a cohesive society. People had different views, but they didn't care. They still liked each other. It was a good time. Social media, the internet, it's all pitted everybody against each other, and it's just getting worse and worse. And the degeneracy in this society is bad.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like we need to go way back to traditional values and restart. And people need to find God.
People need to come back to Jesus.
They do.
I know some people don't want to hear that, but, I'm a Christian. I wouldn't say I'm the best Christian because there's tons of things like I constantly fight with God and like how I view myself as a person and a Christian. Like I'm constantly fighting that battle. But I tell you what, coming close to Jesus, trying to walk the path is the only way forward.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you want to believe in it or not, just, I don't know.
Think of how perfect the earth is. Everything that we have here, we have abundance. If we really wanted to have it, we could. Everything is just perfect. Like the air that we breathe, it gets produced by trees. Trees take in carbon dioxide. It cleans the air. It gives us, oxygen to breathe. The food is great. Like it could be much better. And if people just sat back and took a breath and realized that we have it so good here.
Yeah.
We're squandering it with these squabbles and these fights. It's like life doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah, but there's gonna be conflict.
There's always gonna be
There's
conflict.
no like the whole world peace thing. That's just a fucking fantasy.
But we could have a cohesive society and we could
Yeah.
live in peace in our country.
Oh yeah.
The world's gonna do what it wants to do. But we're 2 oceans away. So they can do what they want to do.
Yep. Moving on.
Okay, what are we up to next here, sir?
Let's try and get away from some depressive shit.
Sure.
Oh, Pierre Poilievre makes his first appearance in the House of Commons since losing his seat.
Okay.
I think we have a clip from that. It was Carney was talking about the budget.
No.
I think it would have been one of the first ones I sent you. No, was that one?
This one here, for sure.
Nope.
This one.
This one. Here we go. So let's cue up this audio.
Okay, just give me 1 second.
And then we'll kind of talk about what's happening here. They're on the old. Oh, hold on. I gotta grab my headphones here.
Okay.
Oh.
The government has been absolutely focused on improving affordability for Canadians. That's why the largest tax cut, 22 million Canadians, every taxpayer in this country. That's why the cut to the GST. That's why the launch of Build Canada Homes, which will reduce the cost of home building in this country. That's why we back the CRTC to get broadband costs down for Canadians. We are building the strongest economy throughout the worst crisis in our history.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
In the spirit of nonpartisanship, we are simply going to hold this Prime Minister to his own promises. He promised that he would spend less. He's already spending 8% more. He promised the budget would be in October. Now he says it will be in November, more than halfway through the fiscal year. He promised that his government would have a smaller deficit than Justin Trudeau. Instead, now we hear that it might even be double. So a trivia question. Can the Prime Minister tell us, has there ever been a Prime Minister who has successfully doubled the deficit without even introducing a budget?
This government is...
Huh. Very interesting.
So, What's your take on that?
My take on that.
Carney talking about, building homes.
Yeah, I think he's just giving lip service. I don't really believe anything he has to say. He just lies.
Well, like Pierre was saying, like was it halfway through the fiscal year, or
Yeah, more than halfway through the fiscal year, and
hasn't come out with a budget?
8% more, and the deficits might be double.
Yep.
So think about what that means. Like, people who are voting for the Liberals right now, can you afford everything that you have? Do you want to know why inflation is there? Because they keep borrowing money. That, you know what that does? That puts more pressure on you. It deflates our dollar value, and everything costs more because
Yeah.
our purchasing power is way less.
Well, Carney made a statement saying like we have like the best economy right now.
Oh my gosh!
What the fuck are you talking
Have
about?
people looked into that? Like, does he know that all this information is public?
Like,
our GDP is shrinking.
Yeah, we're officially in a recession now too.
Yeah.
I heard of this week. We have the highest housing cost, highest food costs. We get taxed, highest federal tax, and then leading into this, I sent you the clip there, the Mario guy talking about it. Love that guy, by the way. Shout out to him. I think you already had it open.
Yep,
this guy.
Play
this clip. So this was him talking about the government spending $13 billion on these new homes that they're making.
Okay.
But I guess it's not as lucrative as Carney made it out to be. Oh, can't hear anything.
1 second.
A new bureaucracy that's going to cost you a significant amount of money. We have literally a housing minister, but he decided to create a new department funded by $13 billion of your money. This is all in the hopes of building affordable housing. And with that $13 billion, they're looking and they're aiming to build 4,000 housing units. Units being the key word. This is what the units look like that Sean Fraser had just announced.
Pause that for a
he
sec.
also was promoting that 13.
So if you guys are just listening and can't see, it looks like a mobile trailer home, but quite a bit smaller.
Okay.
Play.
$13 billion initiative. These units, sorry, let me give you a better angle.
Oh, there you go.
These units, which are
It's
the
a
same
box.
ones here, just in a different angle, are no more than 300 to maybe 350 square feet. And this
Of plywood.
is the kicker. This is the absolute best part. Using the government's own data, in order to make housing affordability, we need to double the housing starts and make nearly 500,000 units per year for the next 10 years. This initial $13 billion and the 4,000 units that they're looking at making, it's less than 1%. $13 billion devoted to meet less than a single percent of the goal of what needs to be done every single year to make housing affordable. This is a social housing experiment paid by you, paid by your tax dollars, because last I checked, the Canadian dream wasn't to own a box that is about 350 square feet or a unit where your kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, and washroom are all in the same room. Last I checked, I wasn't working my butt off to have my taxes go to build affordable units funded by the government. I did not vote for the government to be taking on a new bureaucracy, spending tens of billions of dollars to barely make a dent in goal. The issues that we have currently are those of red tape. The government cannot come in, take your money, spend those taxes, create more inflation for you, make housing more unaffordable for you in order to build these tiny shoeboxes for people to live in because they can't get past the red tape that they created themselves. Ridiculous. Give me just a minute.
Okay.
This is really good.
Well, how much is that costing per unit? So you have $13 billion, 13,000 millions, by the way.
It's over $1.5 million. per unit. I think it's almost $3 million.
Is it
13 billion divided by
no
42,000.
what Brookfield? Is it Brookfield building these homes by any chance?
I don't know.
So it's costing $3.2 million to build that plywood box that you just seen on the screen. $13.2 million. Okay, that's how much they're charging. I guarantee you, it's the government's buddy who's got the contract, who's paying $5,000 to build that piece of crap, and then charging the government or us $3.2 million. That's insanity. Absolute insanity.
Like
This is fraud, clear fraud. Obviously, they're funneling money out of our country through our tax dollars. This is insane.
could you imagine getting that house and be like, yeah, this cost, what did you say, how much?
$3.25 million per square box.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if we have the clip, but he did it was like I forget what it's called. It was a photo op or whatnot of where these homes were
Oh, yes. And there was nothing there. It was just a wall of wood that
well,
they took down after?
they brought some homes and said these are the ones we're gonna be building here. And then as soon as they were done, they left and they took the homes with them. So my thing is, we're spending $13.5 billion, $3.25 million per home, and that's what you're getting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like this house here probably goes for just over 5.
Yeah.
And it has 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, basement, backyard.
How about you start by deporting the 5 million people that are here illegally? You wouldn't need so many damn homes per year.
Fuck no.
Start there.
This is insane. I can't believe that's how much it costs for each one.
It doesn't even feel like we're in the real world right now. It feels like a reality TV show that's like a Black Mirror episode. It's just everything's just completely ass backwards. It's crazy. I can't even believe this is the real world right now.
What's the other show? The Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone?
Yeah. That's what this is right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely it's absurd. To think that people are going along with this is even crazier.
Yep.
What else are we doing?
So Alberta becomes the first province to require citizenship on driver's licenses.
You'd think that would have already been implemented, but thankfully we have Danielle Smith here to. People always talk about democracy and a threat to democracy, but when it comes down to actually protecting the country and the free and fair elections that we don't have, people are against it. Go figure.
So a lot of people were kind of bitching about this. They're like, oh, this is what we're spending money on. We should be spending money on, housing and, crime and all that. But what I found out is, so to vote in a Canadian election, all you need is a piece of ID.
Mm-hmm.
If you're here as a temporary worker, or what's the other one it's called? Like when you're not a full Canadian citizen.
Permanent residence.
Permanent residence. You can vote.
Of course.
So now with this is, if you don't have the little Canadian thing on the top right there, you cannot vote in an election.
They'll be making fake IDs.
Oh,
Guaranteed.
I'm sure. But I feel like this is a step in the right direction.
This is.
Because how many people who weren't actually citizens here in the last election were able to vote?
Tons.
How many of them? I'm just curious to know what the number would have been.
Well, there are people there who couldn't even speak English, and they're still voting. When I went to vote here in my municipality, I asked the lady, I said, how do you verify that someone's an actual Canadian citizen? Oh, that's easy. Well, they show ID. I'm thinking, anyone can get a driver's license.
Yeah.
How do you verify that? I didn't want to press too much because it would have caused an argument. You could tell they were a little left-leaning.
Yeah.
But it's like, how are we supposed to have a real election if anyone can just vote? There's a guy in Ontario who created a fake pill bottle with not using his name, put it on YouTube. It's still on there right now. And he went and was able to vote with just a pill bottle.
That's it?
Not even his real name.
I thought you needed like a government-issued ID.
Nope. They allowed him to do it with a pill bottle. You can check out the video online. He recorded the whole thing.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But...
wild.
I mean, people are going to feel a certain way about this. I think it's a good idea.
Why wouldn't you? Do you want your vote to matter? Your vote's getting canceled out by someone who's not even from here.
Yeah.
How?
Or not even from here, but like not a legit citizen.
Yeah. So anyone, can I just can I go travel to another country, get an ID because I'm there for a certain amount of time, get a driver's license and go vote in their election? Does that make any sense?
No.
Not at all.
It's fucking insane.
It's insane. So
Well,
thank you, Danielle Smith. You are the best.
Yeah. Kind of touched on that. Well, maybe we should get out of the whole politics for this episode because I feel like that just killed my mood.
It's a little charged.
Well, it just sucks because, we're spending so much money on things that no one's asking for.
No, you know what I seen today?
What?
I seen that the current government was spending $8.9 million and giving it to gender-specific rice in Japan.
Did you say rice?
Rice.
Gender specific.
Gender just rice. That's how they had it. It's on the government website. Gender-just rice.
And what's the...
No idea.
Oh, right on.
It's on their website. Oh, we'll stop there. But that's what
Trans
it is.
rice.
Trans rice.
Fuck. I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah.
It almost sounds fake, but it's true.
It's clearly, it's got to be money laundering or something. There's no way you're that batshit crazy that you're going to put $8.9 million into that.
Well,
that could have bought 2 shacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could have housed 2 people.
Could have had your 350 square foot mansion.
Yeah. Sea cans would be cheaper. You could buy sea cans that are bigger than that thing that they showed on there.
Like you could buy, like, with $3.25 million, you could buy a really nice place in, mahogany, like beachfront.
You could buy a mansion in BC.
Yeah.
Beautiful waterfront dock, the whole works.
I'm kind of lost for words on that.
Yeah.
But let's step away from that for this episode. In other news. Oh, actually, hold on. Before we move on to other news, there's a clip, I think, to kind of end the whole Charlie Kirk thing from Andrew Schulz. Let's play this because I really enjoyed his take on it.
Okay, we'll go into something a little lighter too with some comedy. Okay?
And if you guys don't know, Andrew Schulz is a comedian. He kind of makes these videos all the time. But I think this one kind of set the tone.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Let me just address this horrible ponytail. It is for a movie I'm filming. I've been called many things. Chris Anal, Sri Lankan short order cook. I look like I should be tying a woman to the train tracks. These are offensive. They hurt my feelings, but you should be allowed to say them. And that gets into this conversation. Last week, Charlie Kirk's tragic death exposed that our political values have eroded faster than Kash Patel's interest in the Epstein list. The discourse between right and left is officially just beat the other side, even if it means becoming exactly what you hate. It started with the left's reaction to Charlie's assassination. Surely people on the left that have constantly been reminding us of the dangers of fascism, surely they would condemn the assassination of a political opponent. No, many of them celebrated it, like Charlie Sheen on World AIDS Day. And that's just about as fascist as Putin's pierogies, which is not only a food, it's what he calls his housekeepers. Now, I've heard people say, well, technically that's not fascism because the government didn't assassinate the political opponent. Wow, nuance. I'm glad the people that called Sydney Sweeney a Nazi for wearing jeans learned what that is. Now, for the record, just because her bra size is SS doesn't mean she's Goebbels. Now, it wasn't just the left. The right, the party that ended cancel culture, the party that is keeping free speech alive. Surely they maintain their values in the face of tragedy? No. They folded faster than a pair of Peter Dinklage's dungarees. Jimmy Kimmel, who for anyone under 50 is a late night TV host, and for anyone under 40, TV is how the pharmaceutical industry gets your uncle hooked on opioids. And for anyone under 30, TV is like TikTok, but your phone is sideways and not controlled by Bamboo Babe Ruth. Anyway, Jimmy's show is taken off the air because he allegedly made a joke about Charlie. I watched the segment. You watched the segment. He did not make a joke about Charlie at all. The joke was about Trump and one of his reactions to Charlie's death, which was ridiculous. He started talking about White House renovations, which if he hadn't kicked out all the Mexicans would have been done by now. Now, I will say Jimmy did spread misinformation. Killer saying that he was right wing. I don't know how right wing you can be if your girlfriend has a cock. We'll have to ask Lindsey Graham about that. Rumor is he likes devouring a devious bull-nosed cock. Now, in all seriousness, I'm pretty sure the only thing
Oh,
Uh-oh.
leaning to the right in that relationship was his girlfriend's big salty cock. But furthermore, if spreading misinformation is worthy of cancellation, then just get rid of the internet right now. Personally, I think it's a violation of free speech and incredibly corny to hire a comedian and fire them for jokes, no matter which side of the aisle those jokes land on. There is always going to be someone offended by a joke. Half the population is female. And if you got offended by that, you're proving my point. If we set a precedent that we silence comedians when people are offended, there will be no comedy at all, and my feet are not nice enough to start an OnlyFans. But let's say that you disagree. ABC is a private company. They should be able to hire and fire as they choose. I've heard people say freedom of speech isn't freedom of consequence, and that is fair. But is ABC simply firing an employee over a joke they didn't like? Or is it Trump's FCC chair, Brendan Carr, going on a podcast the next day saying Jimmy Kimmel should be punished and saying we can do this the easy way or the hard way, which is what Tyler Robinson's girlfriend said on their first date when she whipped out that vindictive, conniving cock with salt all over it Himalayan.
Oh, man.
Well, you know what happened immediately after? Nexstar, one of the largest affiliate owners in the country, meaning they broadcast Jimmy Kimmel's show, they pulled Kimmel from all their broadcasts. Now, do you think they did that because they were offended by the joke or because they have a $6.2 billion merger they need approved by the FCC? If they did it for that merger, that is the definition of government influence silencing of speech. And now all these staunch free speech advocates are doing mental gymnastics to get around the fact that they're okay with government influence silencing of speech as long as it's for their opposition. You want to know who wouldn't be okay with that? Charlie Kirk. Love him or hate him, Charlie gave a microphone to his political opponents, asked audiences to treat them with respect. He quite literally amplified the voices of those he disagreed with. How do you think he would feel about his tragic death being used to silence political opposition? Honestly, do you think that he would advocate for canceling Jimmy? There's no way. I think he'd be furious about it. I think his supporters should be furious about it, and I think his detractors should be furious about it. It shouldn't even be up for debate. Hello, everybody. Now, before
Okay, now I just want to give a shout out to Andrew Schulz because we used most of, if not all of his video. So shout out to you, buddy. That was very well said.
I liked how he said that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It makes a lot of sense. So we'll end the politics on that one.
Yeah.
And we'll move on.
Okay. Moving on. Oh, some sad news. You probably have no idea who the fuck this is because you don't watch movies or anything like that. But Robert Redford passed away at 89 years old.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Okay, I'm sure I've sent you it's like meme emoji. It's like the guy with the beard and he like does a nod. He like looks and he's like, no.
No, doesn't ring a bell.
He was the bad guy in one of the Avengers movies. He was also in Spy Game. He's been in a countless amount of movies. He was a really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
There was a movie he did where he was in prison, but it was for... Oh, excuse me. I got the hiccups. The army prison. What's that called?
Military prison? Guantanamo Bay?
No. It was like where people in the army got sent if they fucked up. Anyway, nonetheless. Oh, something the castle or whatever. He was a good actor and he passed away. So I think that was the only thing in Hollywood that kind of came up.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Do you want to bring up his photo so people can see who the fuck we're talking about?
Sure, I can do that.
I know I sent it to you.
Okay. I think you did send it to me on here, actually.
Yeah. It's a photo. It's just a photo.
Down. 1 second.
Right there.
Right there.
Boom.
Okay, let me pull it up here for you guys so you can see it.
He's an Oscar winner. There we are.
Right there.
There's the guy.
He looks kind of familiar, I guess.
He has a very distinctive voice. He was in a shit ton of movies. Like, should I pull up his IMDb so I can give you a list?
Might as well.
All right, here we go. Robert Redford.
89 though, he did pretty good.
Fuck yeah. Why am I not? Now it's not coming up.
Of course.
Here we go. So let's lean on some more recent movies he's done. What a executive producer. Wow, shit, he's been a producer of fucking a million different things.
Well, he's probably been in the business for so long.
Let's go for actor. Oops, sorry, I'm butchering this segment here. I'm looking up his so actor. Dark Winds, he was in Avengers Endgame. He played Alexander Pierce. Old Man with a Gun, Pete's Dragon, A Walk in the Woods, The Glove, Captain America, a movie called All Is Lost, Charlotte's Web, Lions for Lambs. He's been in a shit ton of movies. Spy Game, that was the one I told you about. He was in there with Brad Pitt.
I haven't seen any of those movies.
Well, The Last Castle, that was the prison movie I was talking about.
Okay.
James Gandolfini was in it. It was a
Might
really
be a
good
good
show.
one. Okay.
But yeah, a sad one. I feel like a lot of actors are dying this year.
Well, a lot of the good actors too. I mean, they were around since we were kids. They've
I
been
know
around
that's
forever.
the sad part. It's like all of these guys. Like soon you watch Pacino will be dying next, Robert De Niro, and then it just makes you think of like, oh, okay, well, who's left that are still good actors?
Yeah, I know. I feel like the talent pool is dwindling these days. At least I don't know a lot of the actors, anyways.
I mean, there's still a lot of good actors coming up. Like you got that Timothy Chalamet dude, love him or hate him, he makes really good movies. Austin Butler, he was the guy who played Elvis. He was also in the Dune movie.
Okay.
But
Ryan Reynolds.
yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
guy.
There's still lots of good actors. It's just you're starting to see actors you grew up watching starting to pass away.
Mm-hmm.
So rest in peace, Robert Redford.
Yep, for sure.
I don't know. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Or what else can we talk about? There was some stuff about AI, but I think we'll leave that for another episode.
Okay.
Why don't we? We'll get into some fan questions here and then wrap this baby up.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
I only got one fan question.
What is it?
Let me pull it up for you.
Well, we had that one. Actually, we put out a poll on episode 2 about. We had, I think, 4 different multiple choice answers, and it was what concerns you the most about Canada right now. And the one vote we had was the economy.
Oh,
so thank you for doing the poll.
I know our viewers are not the best at asking us questions.
Yeah.
So we have one that says, "What keeps you strong in your faith when you have haters or doubters?" In my faith, I think they're maybe talking towards like Christianity. And I mean, going to church, I always feel like helps me a lot.
One thing I always think of, no matter what situation I'm in, even if it's good or if it's bad, is this too shall pass.
Yeah.
No matter what. You may be having a bad day, bad week, bad month, bad year, but this too shall pass. You have to take the bad with the good and the good with the bad, but you also have to take anything that you do and learn from it, whether it's bad or not, right?
If God didn't think you couldn't handle it, he wouldn't give it to you.
Exactly.
And I know there's a lot of people who are going to roll their eyes about that because they may not believe in, Christ, but
Find Jesus.
I believe it. If I'm having a bad day or whatever, I really lean into talking to God. I pray a lot. Like I just said earlier, like going to church. I always find when I go to church, like it sets me up like my week really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm ever having doubt, I have a really good, strong church community. Like I talk with I have multiple pastors, like Matt at Sunwest, shout out Matt, Colton, Dan, like, there's a lot of stuff going on with my family. I won't get into that, but like I reach out to them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or if like if I get in a certain mindset, I'll reach out and my pastor Matt will instantly text me back or message me. And I've been reading my Bible. I read my Bible, not as much as I should, but like lately I've starting to read it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, if you go in there with a question, you'll usually come out with the answer you're looking for. It may not be as easy as you think, but yeah, leaning into my faith really hard lately.
There's a lot of wisdom in there.
Oh,
A
definitely.
lot of life lessons too.
Mhm.
It's a big book, and growing up, I always thought it was corny. I always thought the whole religion and God thing was corny. And as I grew older, I started to realize that there's a lot more to this life than we're led to believe, or that we even can see.
Yeah.
Miracles happen every day. Look at that kid the baby that we talked about, the miracle baby,
Yeah.
last week or the week before. It works in mysterious ways.
And maybe we'll talk more about that on the next episode. Like, like that's how you and me became friends.
Yeah, well, yeah, we went to the same gym.
Yeah.
And then I knew the church that you went to.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a church at the time.
And
then
I
it just
invited
kinda
you
worked.
out.
Yeah.
And then you ended up bringing your wife a couple of times.
Yeah.
So
It's a beautiful church. Very nice community.
yeah, shout out Sun West. I love everyone there. It feels like a family there. It's
It
not like
does.
all these mega churches, and even there's a lot of big churches in Calgary, but
I would say it's very new age. When you go to churches, because we went to a few churches before we landed there, and a lot of them were kind of old school Catholic preachy robes kind of thing.
Mhm.
This is a new age church where everyone is very down to earth. Even if you don't believe, you don't have to. You can go to these churches and still be amongst great people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a different vibe, and they always leave you with kind of the word of the day. There's always something in it. You relate to it every single time.
I know it hits you. It hits you in a weird spot.
It
Sometimes.
makes you think. It starts your day off great.
Well, our pastors at our church will always say, like, hey, you know what? If like you're new here, we'd love to pray for you. Even if you don't believe, we're just happy that you're here.
Mhm.
Like our church has a saying, like, no perfect people allowed.
Yeah.
Like everyone has problems. No one's perfect. And we want you to come there.
And everyone's very friendly. It's not like fakey. People there are fantastic.
Yeah.
So get a community. Find a good church.
Yeah. I love my church, but we'll touch more about that. Maybe that'll be the next episode. We'll talk about, your faith journey, my faith journey. You see a big comeback in young people coming back to Jesus, and you see a lot of, different religions kind of peaking, and even you could say the opposite. A lot of people are stepping away from God. So I feel like we'll touch base on that on the next episode.
I think that sounds great.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks again for tuning in. We love and appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share as much as you can.
Please,
And
yeah.
if you got some feedback, let us know, but be kind with it.
Yeah, and then until next time, guys.
Yep.
Have a good week.
TTFN, ta-ta for now, and we love you.